Here we go. What is good, y'all? This is Robert. And thank you so much for tuning into Station Square. I am a voice actor. I can talk for a living. I make mistakes all the time. So thank you so much for joining me today. And yeah, this is a nice little intro for what we're going to be doing here on today. We have somebody that I've actually kind of been wanting to talk to for quite some time, but I haven't really had the chance to reach out and just be like, hey, you want to do this? Let's do it. So this is Eric. Thank you so much for joining me on this wonderful evening. Yeah, it is evening on
Mm,
your end. So
Yeah, yep.
about to be evening on my time zone. So yeah, how are you doing, my good sir?
I'm good. Do you prefer Rob or Robert?
Robert. Either or.
Robert. Okay, I'm
Yeah.
good, Robert. I don't. To be honest, when you reach out to me, I'm like, well, why is he reaching out to me?
Well, because like I kind of wanted to do like more interview because I know there's somebody very instrumental that we're gonna mention in just a little bit. But yeah, I
Okay.
just feel like, I just wanted to reach out to more people that are just kind of like, they're also in the business, they've been at it for a while, and they probably might share at least a little bit of their own unique journey and experience. So I just figured I just want to reach out to Eric, and plus I just really want some more variety on my show.
Yeah. Hey, I'm all good with variety. That's a good thing to have. Keeps everything interesting.
Yep, exactly. So I guess with that said, let's talk a little bit about, what you've been kind of been up to, because I know 2025 has been a pretty chaotic year, as you could probably tell, but
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, and that's not even getting we're not going to talk about the real world stuff. That's not what
No,
this podcast is for. Let's just
no.
discuss, your personal life. Like, how's everything been for you in 2025 thus far? Because we're almost
Uh,
like halfway done.
yeah.
Crazy.
I've actually been pretty busy.
Yeah, same
Auditioning.
here. Yep.
I have a steady list of auditions that I figure out how to organize by putting them into another folder of auditions to complete and then completed auditions. And then I go through and look for dates and try to figure out when they're due and everything. But I'm on this year. I got, or no, actually, the end of last year, I got on one roster in Los Angeles that I don't hear from that much. That's fine. But I decided this year I'm going to be a little more proactive, and I reached out to a bunch of local East Coast casting places, and I got one here in Philadelphia that sends me at least 1 to 2 auditions a week, which, you know, if I do the audition, I'm happy with it. I send it in. If they think it's, as long as they keep sending to me, I'm happy. If I get something from them, I'll be even happier. But it's a crapshoot, like everything else. And then I have a local agent, which I've had for probably about a year and a half, maybe 2 years. Um, and he sends me, things through a website called Casting Network. And this past Wednesday, I just did my first acting job as a background actor, and it was like I I did the audition. I really didn't want to do the audition. I was tired because I'd done a bunch of voiceover auditions that night, and I wanted to kind of just sit and relax with my girlfriend and my kids. And so I'm like, you know what? I can improv this. I can get it done in 5 minutes, recorded, uploaded, forgot about it. And then I got a phone call the next day that I was shortlisted by the casting director. So to me, just the fact that I was shortlisted means that somebody liked what I did. If I got it, I got it. If I didn't, I'm still the casting director. Somebody out there recognized that I have some form of a talent. And then I got a call on that Saturday that I was hired for the job this past Wednesday. So it was, it was really cool. It was my first time actually on the other side of the camera, uh, acting. Because in the past, I was behind the camera doing production assistant work, lighting, some producing, sound mixing. I was doing all that stuff because that's what I went to school for originally. So it's been hectic. It's been nice. It's a good change. to finally get some positivity.
Yeah, it sounds like you've been pretty productive. First off, congrats on the gig that you booked, and yeah, it's always really great that you're just still doing your thing. And as a matter of fact, even before we got hopped on Zoom, I was kind of running a little late because I was doing some auditions, and I was even before that I was out running errands. So yeah, it's glad that to stay that we're just keeping ourselves busy and productive.
Yeah,
It's always nice though when you have that downtime, and I feel like this past Memorial Day, like last weekend or so, is probably the first time that I've actually, actual that I've relaxed after like over a month or so because it's just been nonstop insanity. Like I was just saying to Eric that I've mentioned in previous interviews that I was dealing with, some real life family stuff, but thankfully though, we're now finally just getting back to our routine. But it's just kind of what it's pretty much is a testament to how sometimes there could be roadblocks, there could be nerves that can happen,
yep.
but it's about figuring out how to manage it, how to manage when life just kind of throws a curveball like you. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, and I know you're definitely busy because I saw your post today. Congratulations.
Ah, yes, yeah, oh yeah. So for those that missed it, I don't know. I mean,
Which
I know there's
I
a
did
lot.
audition for.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you can't say that. Solomon Shrine. I just announced the cast for the main. There's going to be more characters. If this is technically like round one, but yeah, I'm just so excited that I finally did it. Oh my God.
Good man.
Yeah. It's look, dude. You have no idea how long I've been waiting.
I
When we did the casting and everything, and now getting to announce the people that are going to be behind it, it's like it just feels so.
oh
I
yeah.
mean, when you cast something, because I've done a lot of casting for like other clients, but when it's your own original like IP, when it's your kind of your
Hmm.
child, baby, it just feels even more just so your heart is just so full. That's pretty much what it is. It's just
Oh
so
yeah.
full. Now that
I
it's yeah,
no, I was
exactly.
gonna say I completely understand because I had or still have my podcast, but we've been on a hiatus because
Right.
of just a
Yeah.
bunch of stuff for over the past year and a half. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's the casting of people that finding the right people, going through the read throughs is a lot of fun, and then just like you know posting about it and getting everybody's bios and setting it all up and just being so proud. This is your baby that
Yeah.
that you're putting together from ground up, and it's no easy feat. It's a
Yeah.
lot. It's a lot of demand. It's going to be a lot of frustration. Having people get the lines in on time and everything like that. But it's once the finished product comes up and you get to watch the full thing, it's just you're going to just sit back and be like, yeah, that's it. And yours is animated. Mine's just a regular, a scripted comedy podcast. Which I'm just getting back into after finally coming out of a haze in life. The creative juices were not flowing, but now they're back to where I need to be.
Exactly. So I'm just like so jazzed that it's finally out, that we announced the cast. So prepare to see more episodes. Like I know I've released a teaser for it, but episode one, first episode, you might see it. If not by fall, definitely, by end of year. So stay tuned for that.
It's
And
good though.
stay tuned for Furious 5 or any other additional stuff that I might be coming up in the pipeline. But enough about me. Like I always talk about, and whenever you do podcasts, we're just like, oh, I just want to talk about real.
Yeah.
But no, my guests are really like the stars of for 30, however long we do these. So yeah, let's get to the questions that I have for you today. But before we do,
Go ahead.
and I would have just been so upset if I didn't say this. Happy birthday, Townsend Coleman. For those that don't know,
Yep.
the Tick, Michelangelo. I think he was the ABC announcer for some time.
NBC.
NBC, thank you. I get the two mixed up. So, yeah. So happy birthday, Townsend. Love you, man, and potential future guest. Who knows? Ninja Turtles. Let's do it. So,
I
um,
actually got to meet him last year. He came to Philly for a Comic Con,
Yeah.
and he was really nice. My
Yeah,
girlfriend
he
noticed
seems so
his shoe.
sweet. Yeah.
My girlfriend noticed his shoes, which were Michelangelo. So they were Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and he had Velcro. Each character came with a piece of Velcro that you can switch out. But he's like, of course, I'm going to leave Michelangelo the whole time. He was really nice guy.
Yeah. And I mean, 70s still going strong and young, you know?
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah. And speaking of Ninja Turtles, I'm probably going to see Rob Post next weekend for NostalgiaCon in Anaheim. So another good plug in. It's
Another
going
good
to be a
one.
hoot. Yeah. I could just talk about, but we're just still going to talk about voice actors throughout this thing. I feel like this is pretty much how most of these go. We just talk about our favorite VAs and the ones who inspire us, which is
Oh
no,
yeah,
it's not
yeah.
bad, but it makes great podcast content. So, anyways, yeah, let's jump right into this. I don't want to ask like, oh, how did you get started? But I think I'm just always, a curious George or a curious, like, not a negative Nancy, but a curious George, so to speak. So, what is your, because you said that you kind of did some work in Philadelphia, and would you say that doing the experience in like radio or any of the other stuff that you were doing was kind of how you stumbled into voiceover? Just because
Um,
that's something I want to know. Yeah.
Ironically, I went to school for film and TV production.
Oh, right, right, right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I moved out to Los Angeles in 2000. I was living in South Pasadena, and I worked for Paramount for one season of a show, and then I was doing a lot of some independent stuff. Eventually moved back to Philly and had couldn't find work out there that much. Moved back to Philly and had more work here in production in like a year and a half, 2 years than I did in 7 years of Los Angeles. So I found the right person, and I was just doing teleprompter and lighting and a lot of different behind the scenes stuff. Never in my mind when I was living in Los Angeles did I think, let me look into voiceover classes. And I wish then, I kind of wish I had, but also I'm glad I didn't because I wouldn't have the friends that I do now that are in my podcast or that are in, the online communities. Because I don't, not touting, but would I have been somebody who's coming to Comic Cons? You know what I mean? Like, would I have been a voice talent or not if I'd taken classes? Who the hell know? Who knows? But I got interested in. I've always been interested in voiceover. I've always loved playing with my voice, doing different sounds, accents, things like that. And eventually, in 2012, speaking of Rob Paulson, he was my first voiceover class, and it was up in New York. He was at the Comic Con, but he took some time to come into a studio to do a voiceover class that I signed up for, and it really opened my eyes. He shot down one of my voices right away because it was close to one of the voices that he did. So he didn't want me doing it. So I had to instantly come up with something really quick. But after that, I found through another friend of mine a local uh, voice acting school in Philadelphia, and I just plowed through that. It was four different types. It was like intro, uh, narration, commercial, and animation. And I went through that, and then I had money saved up, so I did demos with these guys, and I was proud of the commercial demo. The animation demo I shouldn't have done, but I still did. But it was voices that I can't sustain for 4 hours, which we learned about in in other classes with like Bloombox Studios or with other coaches. You need to keep a voice to be able to do a voice for 4 hours. And the ones I did on my demo, two of them, there was no way I would be able to do. It would be a short term and that's it. But eventually uh to be honest, after that is when I stumbled upon Steve Bloom and his Bloombox Studios. And taking signing up with him, taking his classes, being an original Bloomboxer, and just all the information that he gave was just amazing for everything. To just be on the outside looking in, he was inspiring to me. He was like a mentor, even though I never had one-on-one coaching with him, but I've met him numerous times at Comic Cons. He couldn't be he couldn't be such a sweetheart, such a sweet guy. Um, but from him, I it's kind of funny. It's like from being in his class, people would talk about Crispin Freeman's podcast, and I was listening to every episode of Crispin Freeman's, just soaking everything in. And I came to an episode with a gentleman named Richard Tatum, who's he's in he's in Genshin Impact. He plays a bunch of the non-playable characters in Spider-Man. He's been in uh, um, oh, I can't think of it. The little purple dragon from Nintendo, Spyro. He played the
I don't.
monkey.
Oh, I don't think Spyro's Nintendo. Let me double check once again.
Yeah,
But continue.
yeah,
Oh, I
but
think it's Activision. Yeah, Activision. I
but I would
believe.
say yeah, it was on the
Yeah,
Nintendo system, I believe.
yeah,
But
Nintendo. Yeah,
yeah, so he played the
was.
monkey character in that.
Yeah,
But
Sony. Yeah.
he's from Philadelphia, and I reached out to him, and this was after I stopped working with Chuck McKibben because of the pandemic. Because
Hmm.
Chuck McKibben was an older gentleman, he didn't want to get COVID, he didn't want anybody coming into his house, and he didn't do online at the time. So I reached out to Richard, and we connected, and it was one of the best things I ever did because it's like, other than him being my mentor, coach, demo producer, he's like an older brother. I can reach out to him anytime. We have the same likes. We can sit and talk to each other during coaching sessions and just then plow through a bunch of copy. And he's not somebody I always wanted a coach who's not going to bullshit me. Sorry, you allowed to curse? Okay,
Yeah, SPG.
you can
Yeah,
beat me.
yeah.
Um, always wanted, you see these ads for these coaches, and I always felt like, when I started with him, he would laugh at whatever silly voice I would do for a character for animation. And then I'm sitting there thinking to myself, oh, he's just laughing to, feed my ego or something like that. And he goes, just so you know, and I remember this. He goes, just so you know, I'm not laughing to laugh. You're making me laugh at what you're doing. So he's like, I'm being honest with you. And he is. And he's always been. Because there are days that I like came into class and just read something and he goes, okay, can we get your head out of your and actually do some work here because you sucked. And I was like, okay. He's like, what's wrong? What are you thinking about? What's on your mind? I'm like, I'm just, and then we would talk through it. So he was an honest coach. And I really appreciated that from him. And to this day, because I stopped coaching with him because, finances. And I could still email him at any time and and he would give me his opinion on a read that I did and things like that. So he's a great friend. But I also had the opportunity to get on Bob Bergen's list. I worked with Vanessa Marshall twice.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, so I mean, I took Charlie Adler's class, and talk about being a fish out of water in that because I was the only one who didn't have an agent, and and everybody there, like I know one of the guys you did was played Grimlock, uh, something Andes. He was on your
Oh,
podcast. He was on your podcast
I'm.
list. I can't think of his
Yeah,
first name. I'm friends. Yeah, Ryan Andes.
Ryan and. Oh, wow, man,
Yeah, he was
that's a
he was
throwback. Yeah.
yeah he was in the class. Zara Fazell was in the class, and she's a top one of the top female voice actors right now. And I just but this community is just so behind you with everything you do. We encourage each other, and we care about one another. And it's like, hey, I'm having a bad day. Da, da, da. And I could have like 15, 20 people going, hey, you want to talk? You want to talk? You want to talk? And I can just sit on a Zoom, or I can sit and just chat with them online. Um, but Charlie's class, and Charlie Adler he will kick your butt and he will tell you how it is, in not so polite terms, but that's Charlie. But I've had the chance to work with some A-list coaches and voice actors, which is just, you know, something I never thought I would ever be able to do. And then to be able to go to some of these Comic Cons and meet them in person is absolutely amazing too.
Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier too, because I know I'm going to be at a. Oh, speaking of Charlie, I think he's going to be in Anaheim next weekend. So we'll see how that's going to go because
Um,
I've always wanted to take his courses every single time, sell out quickly. And I know you mentioned Crispin
yeah.
Freeman, but his is also like you got to be on your computer. You got to get those fingertips on up on the keyboard, and you
Well,
better make sure that you get them right as soon as
yeah.
they go up live. Because if they're gone, they gone. So
Yeah. I work with
yeah,
Crispin too. I did do a coaching session with
yeah.
him.
I did a yeah. I've worked with Crispin, Richard Horowitz, but yeah, Bob Bergen. I'm still on his wait list. I just need to. We're just trying to schedule a day at a time for us to do like one on
He
one. Yeah.
he kicked my butt. We
Which oh
did
Bob.
Bob. Oh yeah,
Okay.
he looks at me, he goes, "You're sweating." He goes, "Good, you're acting." It's like he taught me in an hour. Like I was in the character was in a museum, and he's like, "What happens when you're in a museum and you're alone?" I was like, "It's going to echo." He goes, "Exactly. So you need to move back from the microphone and you need to scream, because your voice isn't going to be heard, and you're talking to somebody who's in another room." And it was just like, and to the point where I had to grab a shirt and I was like dabbing my forehead because I was sweating while working with him. It was great. It was so much fun.
It's a good workout, in
Yeah.
case you want to do cheat day in the gym.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And he's actually somebody else. Um, he's somebody that I reached out to with my original demos because
Okay.
he was doing Ask the Pig that he used to do.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
so yeah, something he would do on, I believe it was Facebook Live, and then he eventually went to Instagram where you can go and you can ask a question, and he would answer it in front of his computer while sitting there. And I said, "Do you listen to demos?" And he goes, "Oh yeah." And he's like, "Just send it to bob@bobbergen.com or whatever his email address is." And I was like, "All right." I said, "I'm gonna, I did it." And I sent him my demos thinking nothing was gonna happen. And later that afternoon, this was in 2017. Later that afternoon, I got an email from him going over what I needed to change in my demos, what I would need to do on my website. He just broke everything down. And I printed out the email and framed and got it framed, but also met him last year and got him to sign the letter or the email to me. And it was great. He was a nice guy, really great guy.
Yeah, knows when to give it to you, not no holding back, like holding no punches, but still is able to be incredibly generous, which is what I
Yeah.
always appreciate because I think both of us are in Steve Bloom's Facebook and we just kind of ask, I want to ask specific questions, not the same old of like, okay,
Yep.
what is this one thing about like, what's going on with industry standards or how to stay on top of everything. What I just wanted to be specific and not
Well,
ask vague stuff. So,
yeah. Well, I mean, you saw
because I just want to be,
I did a follow-up post of the what's going on with James Earl Jones' voice on Fortnite,
yeah, yeah.
and you see how much is going through on that one.
It is like, yeah,
You know,
it's a lot to keep. Yeah,
yeah,
I do try to keep. Yeah, I do try my best to be, try to catch up and be. Um, it's just like I said, since I've gotten more. I mean, I am booking more and I'm doing a lot more content and,
good
everything
for
that I've
you.
been doing, which is good. I just wanted to, keep in track of, specifically that group just to make
Oh
sure
yeah,
what's going down. And the James Earl Jones thing is.
It's yeah,
There's
it's
a,
crazy.
it's crazy. Yeah,
Yeah. AI is a interesting
yeah,
future. It's like and I'm understanding where Bob's coming from, where we have to accept it. It's not going anywhere, but I do stay away from the sites that don't have this
protection.
is going to be an AI usage thing. No, I'm
Yeah.
not doing that. Like there was a post for $25,000 to read so their systems can can follow the AI. I'm like, yeah, exactly. No way. And I even questioned, I will question, I'll send something to Tim Freelander, the head of Nava, and ask and just say to him, do you think this is legit? If I see something or
Also, a
something,
previous guest of mine.
yeah, or something for them to go after, because I have sent stuff to him where he's like, oh, thank you for sending this to me. We're going to go after them now. And, it's a good thing that they do. That's what they're there for, which is great for us non-union actors.
Yeah, and it's like there's also a lot of discussions about when to go pro union and so many different topics that I've discussed here on the show.
Yep.
Honestly, I think you guys have to watch my Bob Bergen interview because he goes more in depth into a lot of the topics that we discussed. Like, if I try to say it here now, is probably best to ask somebody who is very deep and knowledgeable about all this stuff, that I could. So this is why I have guests on my show for a reason.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, because
And,
you also
and
learn.
why I also do this and also learning because, I could put something out there and somebody might be like, oh, I did not know about this about, SAG. You
Oh
just
yeah.
never know. No.
Yeah.
Let's see. But yeah, going to Steve Bloom. I line with Sumakis, so if he ever watches this,
You
I
you
just want to say thank you for just.
no, I
I'm
was gonna
sorry.
say you just froze up. So
Oh,
after you said Galacticon, you just froze.
that is so weird. I just wanted to say, Steve Bloom, thank you for creating such an amazing community. That's all I'll
Oh
say.
yeah. Yeah, by
Yeah.
far. Yeah, nothing like it, and absolutely amazing. And to watch him with everybody is just incredible. Uh and just, he's just great. He's great with my kids. And that's I love that. And he's watched them sort of grow up a little bit because he's been to Philadelphia so many times. He's seen them multiple times. So it's great.
That's amazing. Um, yeah, I guess on that note, I don't think I have anything else to really discuss about. We didn't even talk about some of the projects that you've worked on, but always part two, you know what I mean?
Anytime you want, we can
Yep.
schedule something.
Yep. Amen, brother. So I guess for right now, where can people check out your stuff and any last words or anything to close out on? Yeah.
So my website is www Eric N Horowitz. So ERICN as in Nathan, HOROWITZ.com. You can also go for my podcast, which is on Spotify and Apple. It's Potchki Audio Chronicles. Potchki is spelled Potchki. Gotta promote. And if you could do it, that's the Spotify code.
Hey, there you go.
And everybody that's in that show is, with exception to one actor, are all Bloomvox students. And we've grown from like 7 or 8 to about 15 actors. Other than that, I mean, all my socials are on my website. My demos are on my website, and I'm working on a new case right now. I'm writing out for Potchki to go through, and I'm looking forward to jumping back into that and going through my writing process, and going through everything and recording and getting the group back together because it's been too long.
Getting the band back together. It's a good
Yeah,
idea.
yeah, we
Yeah,
need more
very
humor
good.
out there,
Yeah,
especially these days.
tell it. You just say that again. Don't need to
Yep.
say it and tell me twice. But yeah, definitely a good idea to get on that accountability. I mean, yeah, I'm all about that. I'm all about that stuff. So thank you so much, Eric, for joining me today. It's a lot of fun, and I'm so glad that we got to do this and it managed to work out for both our schedules.
Oh
So,
yeah.
but yeah, in the foreseeable future, like, come on down. The door is always open.
Hey, Anytime you call, Robert, I'll be there for you. You got it. Good luck with your
Right on.
project, and I look forward to future auditions for you.
Yeah, anytime, brother. Anytime. And with that,
Appreciate it.
um, I know it's still May, but Star Wars, forget it. I'm doing the Spock
Yeah, I
thing.
know.
Yeah, the live long and prosper, that's Star Trek. But yeah, Star Wars, just uh May the 4th, or yeah, here it is.
There you
Full on
go.
swagger. Totally not sponsored, Disney. But yeah, May the 4th be with you. Have a lovely rest of the summer. And yeah, it's almost just about starting. So it's about to get sizzling. And yeah, just stay cool, y'all. And I'll see you all next time on Station Square with Robert Jackson. Love y'all.
Bye.